ask this question each and every time I speak, and I've been given the opportunity to speak at various functions over the last several weeks. Do you want to change your life? Do you want to transform yourself? Do you want to change your community? Do you want to have relationships that are fulfilling? Do you want to live the life that God wants you to live? I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming to the first stop on my journey with me, with my friends, with living the wealthy life. I want to welcome you, those of you young and old, black and white, rich and poor, those who are struggling with relationships, those who are struggling with success, those who are employed and unemployed, those who are down and who want to get up. It is time for our community. It's time for us to change. Each and every one of us said to ourselves, they've asked me this question: why would you write a book about wealth? Why would you write a book about wealth now? People are unemployed. People are going through the toughest economic times that they can. But we have to let them know that wealth is not about money. You see, I was inspired by the road that I have taken for the last 20 years as a practicing lawyer. I have met many of you who have struggled. I have represented many. I have gone the distance with many of you. My friends are here who are walking the journey with me. I've known some of the troubles that many of you have had out there, the financial problems, the other issues with civil rights. And what I've noticed is that things are not changing. Things are staying the same. So what I've learned is I've used my legal mind, my logic, my education to put it all together. What I was able to do is look at some points and put them together in 18 principles, because I too was tired. We have Wall Street, they're ripping us off. We have our politicians we cannot trust. We have our role models that are no longer role models. And business is as usual in the communities that we're in. On my journey, I have learned that young people are stripping. Young ladies are stripping for a living because there are not enough jobs to give them the wages that they deserve. I had a client that was shot over $3,000. And the individual who did the shooting is now doing 8 years in jail. So I said it's time for people like myself to stand up and talk about principles, to talk about getting back to the life that we used to have. We started out in paradise. We started out with the fruits. We started out with the apples, and we started out with abundance. For some reason, we stepped in our own way, and we began to do different things. I walked by, I looked at the church parking lots, and they were empty. But I rode by the casino parking lots, and they are filled. We have to get back to where we came from. We came from principles. We came from philosophies. And we have to begin to shed what we're doing now, and we have to be honest with ourselves and start an honest conversation. Living the wealthy life is there for you to begin that conversation. It's there. Queen Mother gave me this little saying: what are we doing to feed the greedy? Wall Street cannot get rich unless we buy the products to make them rich. They cannot steal. They steal because we buy in decadence. We buy things that we don't need, so we are feeding the greedy. But right, Queen Mother, at this point, why can't we feed the needy? Why can't we bankroll and back up a school called the Learning Tree Multicultural School? These children are diamonds in the rough. Why can't we readjust our finances and what they call in the computer age, what is it that they use? They call it reboot. It is time to turn it off, shut it down, and it's time to reboot. It's time for us to change our priorities. And if we don't do it now, and someone said, well, why now? If we don't do it now, our future is bleak. If we don't readjust our principles, it is for the sake of our children. Living the wealthy life is about taking 18 principles that are based on biblical principles, but putting it in language that people understand. It is about no more drama in our lives. When you eliminate drama, you can focus on the things that are important in our community. It is about dealing with the issues in our community called jealousy and envy. Those are the kinds of discussions that we must have, because we should be inspired by what we do opposed to jealousy and envy. It is about correcting our character defects. It is about getting